Okay, let's talk materials. So for materials, we're gonna need a 3.5 millimeter hook. We are going to need yarn needle. We are going to need some yarn. We're gonna need a light color yarn. We will need a black for the mouth, and we will need a white for the belly. In addition to that, we will need some polyfil, quite a bit, so that we can stuff the body. And you will also need some size 12 millimeter plastic safety eyes. All right, let's go ahead and get into the pattern. Okay, so we are gonna start with the body of our frog. And for that, we will need our green yarn. So we are gonna start with a magic circle. And that's one slip stitch. There we go. And we're going to start with a magic circle. 6 single crochets in that magic circle. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and close that guy up. Place our stitch marker, green stitch marker for the green frog. Next, we're going to do our increases. So we started out with 6 single crochets in our magic circle. We are doing an increase, which means that we will end up with 12 single crochets. So again, just 2 single crochet, excuse me, in each of the 6 stitches, and that will give you 12 single crochets at the end of the row. So go ahead and do that and meet me back. Row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So an increase. So again, that's 1 single crochet and then an increase all the way around. Row number 4 is going to be 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then an increase. So 2 single crochets in that next stitch. Again, that's 2 single crochets and then an increase all the way around. If I can get this guy in here, I picked up something I wasn't supposed to. There we go, all the way around. Row number 5 is going to be 3 single crochets, same concept. 3 single crochets and then an increase. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochet, and then an increase. Go ahead and do that all the way around. Okay, for our final row of increases, row number 6, we're going to follow the same concept, but this time around we're going to do 4 single crochets and then an increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase. And we're doing that all the way around. Alright, so this is what we're looking like after the 4 rounds of increases, excuse me. For rows 7 through 14, we are just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 8 rows. So just 1 single crochet in each stitch. You should have 36 stitches all the way around. So come back and meet me here once you've done all 8 of those rows. Okay, so this is what I'm looking like after my row number 14, and you can see that we've kind of worked our way up vertically, and that's exactly what we want. So row number 15 is going to be 4 single crochets and then a decrease. We're going to start closing this guy back in. So 4 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do a decrease. And you're going to do that all the way around. Row number 16 is going to be 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease, and we're doing that all the way around as well. Row 17 is going to be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, and then a decrease. 1, 2, and then a decrease all the way around. Row 18, 1 single crochet and then a decrease. 1 single crochet and then a decrease. 1 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around. And the final row for our body is going to be row number 19, which is going to be a decrease all the way around. So literally just a decrease all the way around. Just like that. Okay, so once you fasten off, you're looking something like this. Go ahead and stuff this guy using that hole that we just created before you close the hole. So go ahead and stuff, and then I'll meet you back here. This is what mine looks like when it's stuffed. And what I want to do now is just go ahead and close in that hole, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on the eyes. We are using the green yarn again. Excuse me. Okay, so for the eyes, we are repeating the body's pattern rows 1 through 3. So remember, rows 1 through 3 was we started with our magic circle, which we're going to do now. We're going to put 6 single crochets inside of our magic circle. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next row, we're going to do our round of increases, which was 2 single crochets in each stitch for a total of 12 in the end. Row number 3 was 1 single crochet and then an increase. So 1 single crochet and then an increase. Row number 4 is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. And you should have 18 stitches all the way around. So after row number 4, you'll notice that your work will start to curve on you like that. And that's exactly what we want, because if you think about a frog, like the eyes are a little bit, well, animated frogs at least, the eyes are a little bit of a circular shape. So that's exactly the look that we're going for. Row number 5 is going to be, we want to accentuate that that kind of curve downward. So we're going to do a decrease. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease, and that's going to just kind of dramatize that curve down. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around. That's what we're looking like, looking pretty good, but I want to make that even more dramatic. So we're going to do a round of just plain out decreases. So just decreases all the way around, and that's going to make that eye really curved. So when we attach it to our body, it gives us that animated frog look. So go ahead and do that all the way around. And once you're done, go ahead and cut. Leave a fairly long tail for sewing, because we will use that tail to sew our ear to the body of our frog. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. I just folded the work in half and kind of smushed it down. That's what it's looking like, and that's exactly what we want. So remember, I was saying like the curve, that those 2 rounds of decreases. So the round 5 where we did 1 single crochet and then a decrease, and row 6 where we did the decrease, really helped us to bring the work in at the bottom to give us that shape. So you're going to make 2 of these. So we did one together. Go ahead and do the other one. I'll do mine off camera, and we'll come back to insert the plastic safety eyes inside of this guy. Okay, so this is what my 2 eyes look like. And now we need to attach the safety eyes into the center of these guys. And so for the safety eyes, we are using a 10 millimeter, not milliliter, 12, excuse me. I misspoke. We are using a 12. For me, that is right here. So let me go ahead and grab 2 of these guys. Don't forget to get the backs as well. And we are going to attach these. So between rows 4 and 5. Okay, so the way you count that is you're looking at your magic circle, and we're gonna count between rows 4 and 5. So magic circle counts as 1, 2, 3, 4. There's row 4, there's row 5. So we want to insert our eye in between those 2. Push it through only the first portion of your eye, because you don't want it to go through the back. It is a little bit rough to put the back in, but it's not impossible. So go ahead and find where that back should go in, right there for me, and fit that guy on there. And there you have it. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing to the other eye. Okay, so after I did both of mine, that's what it looks like. So now what we want to do is grab the body that we made. I am putting the magic circle on top. Row number 19 is going to be on the bottom. It's just a preference for mine because I don't know, I like the way the magic circle portion looks. Feel free to do as you please, but for me it just looks a little bit cleaner when you do it that way. So we are going to need some quilting pins to hold the eyes in place. And the way we are going to hold this in place is we're going to take one of our eyes and we are going to place the pins between rows at row 2 and at row 6. So if we look at our magic circle counts as 1 row. 1, 2, we want to pin the first part of our eye to row number 2, because that's where we're going to sew it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're literally just keeping it in place, and we'll come back and we'll sew it later. And then the other pin we want at row number 6. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we want to make another pin at row number 6, just like that. And we're going to do the same thing to the other eye. So the way we attach the eyes is we are just going, I pulled up my tail through the ear, and I'm going to go back through the eye, excuse me. I'm going to go back through the eye and another stitch. And now I'm going to pull up a stitch in the body. I'm going to go in right there. And you're just going to do this all the way around until the eye is completely attached. So I went in through the body. Now I'm going to go in through the eye again, pick up another stitch. Remove your pins as you go, because sometimes the yarn will get caught on the pins, and it's no bueno. So I pulled up through the eye. I'm going to go back in through the eye into another stitch. And then I'm going to pull up through the body. And literally you're just doing that all the way around until the eye is completely attached. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and you'll see that this one looks a little bit different than this guy, right? And so what I like to do, just to kind of finish it off, to give it just a little bit of a more refined look, I take the right and the leftmost stitches of the eye, like right there, and I just secure that to the body. And what that does is it pulls the eye a little bit closer to the body. So watch it. See how it pulls it closer to the body, so you don't get that little gap right there. And so let me show you with the other side as well. Let me just push my yarn in place, and then I'm just gonna grab the leftmost stitch right there. See that? Grab that, and I'm gonna go back into that same little hole that I had, just like that. And I'm gonna let you see me pull it. You see, when I pull it, it gets a little closer to the body, and it just looks a little bit neater in my opinion. You don't have to do that, but for me, I do that with the frogs. I also do it with like my bear ears, just because it makes it look a little bit neater. Okay, so now we want to whip out our white yarn because we are going to start on the belly. So for the belly, we are going to start with a magic circle. In that magic circle, we are going to put 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and close that guy up. There we go. Inside of those 6 stitches, we're going to do an increase. So we are going to go from 6 stitches to 12 stitches. So go ahead and do your increases just like we did with the body, just like we did with the eyes. So just 2 single crochets in each stitch. Row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase, just like we did before. 1 single crochet and then an increase. Ignore my dog in the background. 1 single crochet and then an increase all the way around. Row number 4 is going to be 2 single crochets and then an increase, just like before. Again, we're repeating the same pattern. 2 and then an increase. So that's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then an increase all the way around. Okay, row number 5 is actually the fun part. So what we're gonna do is start out with 2 double crochets. So first stitch, a double crochet, second stitch, a double crochet. The next 8 stitches we're doing single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're gonna do 3 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and 3 double crochets, followed by 10 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we should be left with 1 little lonely stitch, and we're going to do a double crochet into that last stitch. Take your stitch marker out, and we're going to slip stitch to join. And go ahead and fasten off and cut your yarn. Leave a fairly long tail for sewing because we're going to use that tail to sew our belly to our frog body. And so what you should end up with is sort of an oval-ish shape, because when we put that on our frog body, we don't want it to be a circle per se. We want it to be a little bit ovaled. So the next thing we need to do is to pin this guy to our body. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to pin our belly to rows 6 and row 15 of our body. And so the way we're going to do that is you're going to look for your magic circle at the very top. We're going to count 6 rows down. So magic circle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we want to position. Remember those 3 double crochets that we made at the top of our belly? Kind of use that middle double crochet as your center point and kind of position your belly in between your eyes. So for me, that's going to be like right there, and I'm just going to pin to row number 6, just like that. And then for row number 15, we know this is row number 6, so we're going to go down to row number 15. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we're going to pin, same concept. And you notice like it'll, like where you did the slip stitch, it'll go just beyond row number 15, and that's fine because when you sew it, it's going to kind of sneak up on you a little bit, so that's fine. If you're concerned, you can definitely go down to row number 16. It's really not a big deal. But that's what we're looking like pinned, and all we need to do now is to go ahead and use our tail and sew this guy around. To sew, I'm using the same concept as we did with the eyes. So I'm taking my tail that's attached with that slip stitch. I'm just going to go into the belly, pick up a stitch in the belly. I'm going to pick up a stitch on the actual frog body, just like that. I'm going to pick up the belly, go back through the belly, and then pick up a stitch in the body, just like that. I'm going to show you one more time and then I'll leave you. So pick up a stitch in the belly, go back through the belly, and then you're going to pick up a stitch in the body. And just make sure to pull as you go so that the stitches are hidden. And you're just going to do that all the way around. And this is what we're looking like so far. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's coming out really cute. So the very last thing that we need to do is to go ahead and make the mouth. So to make the mouth, what we want to do is we want to pin where our mouth is going to be first. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 pins and we're going to pin them kind of horizontal. We're going to take 1 pin and pin it vertical. So the way we want to do this is we want to center the eyes between rows 3 and 4. So we're going to count from our magic circle. 1, 2, 3. So that's row 3. This is row 4. So we want to position our pins centered between rows 3 and 4 with about 1 to 2 stitches apart. So for me, that's a little bit off center, so I'm going to move over 1. I'm actually going to do like that for me. Okay, so those are my horizontal pins. And then I'm going to place another pin in row number 1, 2, 3, row number between rows 4 and 5 in the center of the other 2, just like that. Okay, next what we want to do is to take some black yarn, not a lot at all, and we want to go ahead and thread our yarn needle. What we're going to do is insert our yarn into the back of our work like this, and we're going to go through that top right pin. So just kind of position to where you're going through that top right pin. You see that coming through? Just like that. Pull that through a little bit. And now what we're going to do is to insert our needle now, excuse me, into the top left pin. Just like that. And you want to kind of pull a little bit tight. You can actually take these pins out. You don't really need them anymore. And right now, our frog is giving us kind of the meh look. So what we're gonna do is in the back, you can see when I went through that top left pin, I just came through a random spot in the back. We're gonna go through that same hole because we don't want this to show, right? If we go anywhere else in our work, that it's gonna create a line. We don't want that. So we're gonna go back through that hole, and we're actually gonna come up into that bottom pin, just like this. If I can get it in, there we go. Into that bottom pin. You see how it kind of disappears in the back? We can actually take this pin out now. We're going to insert our yarn needle underneath that line we just made from the two top pins. Underneath, just like that. Just like that. And what we're going to do is carry our yarn over. And you can see when we pull it, it creates that kind of V of a mouth. So in order to hold that in place, we're going to stick our yarn needle back into that bottom hole. And this time I'm going to go into the same hole as that first kind of insertion that we made. And again, this is just going to hold our V in place. So you want to pull just a little bit to form that V. See how it's coming into view now? And then you can adjust as needed. So for me, I'm just going to make this line a little bit longer. I have some polyfil stuck in there. There we go. I think that's good. I'm going to pull just a little bit tighter. And that's it. We're gonna tie a knot here and then hide this in our work, and we're done. All right, we are all done. This is what our frog looks like. Super cute, super adorable. So let's talk some possibilities here. So what can you do with this guy? You can totally leave it as is. This thing is freaking adorable. You can make glasses. I actually will be creating a pattern vault in the next coming months. August 1st is the anticipated date for the release of the pattern vault. There will be some cool watermelon sunglasses that'll be available for vault members. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to kind of keep an eye out for that. But you can change colors for this guy. You can definitely make the eyes closer or further apart. You could, in theory, make this a keychain. That would be kind of cool. If you change the gauge of the needle, get a lower weight yarn, you definitely can make this guy smaller and create it as a keychain. But he's really cute as is, honestly. I can't even lie. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to click that bell icon so you know when I drop new tutorials every single Monday. Every single Monday a new tutorial comes out. Right now we are in our summer critters series. So stay tuned next week, excuse me. Stay tuned next week for another summer critter. And I will see you all next week. Don't forget to stay safe with all the craziness going on in the world. Don't forget to crochet some really cool stuff and meet me back here next week.